Hello YouTubers, this is Jay again, back with another fun-filled video. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my tire and I'm going to inspect my rear drum brakes. What's happening is I'm getting a symptom where I step on the brake and sometimes it either sticks or pulls, or it just feels like it's working differently at other times. So I'm going to take it apart, I'm going to inspect it, and I'm going to show you how to put it all back together. What you want to do is you want to try to loosen this tire while it's on the ground. If you try to get this up in the air and then try to loosen it, the tire's going to spin on you and you're not going to get anything. These, as you can see, are really old and rusty. See if I can find the right setting. 21mm side. Now, since they're rusty and you can't pull them off yourself, my trick is to grab a long pipe, stick it on the end of the four-way, and pull up like that. It makes people's jobs a lot easier. Do that with all the nuts, just loosen them to the point where you can get them with your hands, and then raise the car up. Next, you'll want to jack up the vehicle. Usually a good place is right in front of the tire on the frame of the car. Like so. And jack it up until the tire is just off the ground. We got the vehicle jacked up, tire off, and the next thing you want to do is remove the brake drum. Usually how you can do that is just take a hammer and hit between all the studs. Sometimes it may be harder than other times. A lot of these come with drill holes where you can put a bolt down through and it'll force it off. But this particular one, you just hit. I've actually already had this off and something popped right out at me. The self-adjuster fell out. It was just laying inside of there, not doing anything. This is supposed to turn to adjust the brake shoes outward. I'll give you a little closer look. If you come in right here, these bad boys right here are the brake shoes. Now down here is where the self-adjuster goes, in this space, and it's not there. It's supposed to go up in here, and it pulls these brake shoes outwards so that wearing doesn't matter, and it adjusts itself accordingly. But this one is seized up, it won't turn, it's completely rusted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the whole assembly apart, I'm going to clean everything up, and I'm going to put brake grease everywhere where metal contacts metal, so that we can get better stopping. And I'll show you how to take this all apart and put it all back together. It looks complicated, but trust me, it's not. You can look in there and see all the springs. There's only a few. As long as you keep track of them, keep everything in order, this should be an easy job. Buddy, the first thing I always do is I just inspect this. This is your wheel cylinder. Now, the ends on here push out on the insides of the brake shoe right here to create braking. And this all separates. Now what I do is I look real close and make sure there's no leaking. Actually, I replaced this one 6 months or so ago, so it's not going to be bad. And actually, this adjuster froze up on me in that time, so. But they do have a special tool for this stuff, a special brake tool. I don't have it, so what I usually do is I just use a pair of needle nose pliers. I'm going to start pulling all these springs off, and I'll show you what order they go in when I'm back. Now, the first thing I did was I took the primary brake shoe spring off. If you look real close, it just comes out of that hole and back in like so. And it stays that way and comes up here. It's so that these shoes can return. Stupid kids. No, kids aren't stupid. It's their parents usually that are. But usually I just take a pair of needle nose pliers and pull up on this spring. It'll come right off, but actually they have a lot of resistance and I need 2 hands. turned with the spring off. Now I find that it makes it a lot easier if you set these all down next to where you're working in relationship to where they actually go. The next thing I'm going to do is right here, you have the pin hold downs for each brake shoe. Now what these do is they push in and they turn. As you can see, there's a little nail with a slot on it. When you turn it, it'll turn and match up with that and come on out. You need to take these out to take off the shoes. Spring, and then through the back there should be the part for the little nail, and it comes right out. And set it with the rest of your springs. Do the same to the other one. Hooks up to that little lever along with this return spring that hooks up to the main brake shoe. The front is the main brake shoe, the back is the secondary. The secondary is usually longer than the primary. So I'm going to take this all apart and show it all to you. There's actually a clip right here that you're supposed to take off to remove the arm for the e-brake. But since I'm not needing to take this off, this has actually been replaced before. As you can see, it's still got some life left on it. That darker piece of metal is still brake shoe, so it's still got quite a bit of ways to go. But anyways, as you can see, there's just crud all over it. That's why I'm going to spray it all down with brake clean. Right here. So now that I'm about to pull out is that lever I was talking about. But right here, I have a layout of all of my springs and everything so that I can know where they go back in. It's in general to where it goes inside of the drum. Remember what I said, don't lose those pins on the end. They're very important to stick into there. Up a can of brake clean. Oh, sorry, clumsy. Any type of work, AutoZone brake cleaner. This stuff is awesome to clean off almost anything. You don't want to use it on electrical parts, certain ones, but this works on almost everything. And even if you don't care about your skin too much, like I should be wearing gloves right now because brake clean and brake parts can be very contaminant and they can harm your hands in many ways. I'm out of gloves, so I didn't wear any. But actually, this will clean your hands off too if you don't care about a little bit of burning. I don't recommend it though. But anyways, you'll just want to shake her up and just spray everything. Now, as you can see, look at all that gunk. And I'm going to do it to all these parts. And I'll show you the final result. Now, make sure you clean out the brake drum too. This stuff just cleans on its own. You really don't need to wipe. But as you can see, everything over here is cleaned off. As you can see, there's not black tar all over it anymore. It's going to be rusty. It's old. The rust isn't just going to melt off of it, just like up here. But as you can see, I got rid of all the black tar and all. It's basically just brake dust, but we'll call it black tar for today. Bazinga! No, that's not really a joke. But I'm off to the auto parts store to get me a new self-adjuster.